Hey guys, welcome back to the channel where I cover missing persons, unsolved cases, crime news, and more. You may have heard by now that tomorrow night, Thursday night, January 4th at 9 p.m. Eastern, there's going to be a special on the A&E network with the parents of Casey Anthony, George and Cindy Anthony. They took the lie detector test. Now, my personal opinion on the lie detector test is it's not foolproof. And it basically operates on your stress levels, your sweat. There's a lot to it. And let me play this bit of information for those that don't know too much about the lie detector test besides what we usually see on TV and in the movies.
In the early 1900s, scientists theorized that there was a connection between lying and high blood pressure. Dr. William Moulton Marston used blood pressure to examine German prisoners of war. He also created Wonder Woman, but that's a story for another day. In the summer of 1921, Berkeley psychologist John Larson used a new machine to question a suspected priest murderer in San Francisco. His device monitored not just blood pressure, but also respiration and pulse. Newspaper headlines pronounced William Hightower guilty by impartial science, and the device was renamed the lie detector, a name Larson would later come to call Frankenstein's monster. The third variation, introduced by Leonard Keeler, added sensors to measure sweat. He called it the Polygraph and became the first American to patent this machine. Despite inconsistent results and doubt from the scientific community, the U.S. government quickly became the world's largest polygraph user.
The polygraph, or so-called lie detector, is a valuable aid in the interrogation of suspected offenders.
During the Red Scare of the 1950s, thousands of federal employees were subjected to polygraphs to weed out communists. By the 1980s, 10,000 trained polygraph examiners were conducting 2 million tests per year.
28 states in America accept the results of polygraph tests as legal evidence, and the polygraph is now used as a matter of course by the FBI and other government agencies.
Time nor technology has made the polygraph any more reliable.
So again, it's been around for a very, very long time. But as they're stating here on Shudder, it's not reliable. It's just not reliable. And if you do a quick search on Google, you will find all sorts of ways to quote unquote beat the polygraph, aka lie detector test. So it's just so many reasons why it's not foolproof and it's not admissible in court. So why do people get so up in arms about it? Well, it can sort of tell you some ideas, but at the same time, it's kind of up to each person how they decide to believe it. So with the fact that Casey Anthony's parents are taking the polygraph, and we're having this special airing tomorrow night, well, could that really tell us much of anything? Well, I guess that's up to each individual. I'm definitely interested in watching it, and I think each person needs to kind of evaluate it on their own. The emotions that come out of it, that could produce, obviously, some variations, and we're hearing all over the net already that there's been some issues with Cindy and George taking the polygraph, that they have, broke down and what have you. And, the biggest thing that folks are wanting to know is George really guilty of covering up the death of Kaylee? that's sort of the biggest question that comes out of it. My personal opinion is I don't believe that George or Cindy, for that matter, had anything to do with little Kaylee's death. I don't believe it. I do think that my opinion is that Casey overdosed little Kaylee, potentially on accident. I'm kind of going with that theory. And then she overdosed her and she stopped breathing and she couldn't wake up. And then from there on in, she covered it up instead of asking for help. But again, I don't know if we'll ever truly know the truth. So let me play the trailer for the A&E special for those that have not seen it. And I'm definitely interested. What do you guys think? Are you going to be watching this special with George and Cindy taking the polygraph test? Or are you kind of done with this case after all these years and you're just like, nah, not interested? There's been a lot of true crime specials this week. We had the strange case, the curious case, strange case of Natalia. And I've changed my thoughts more on that. So anyone interested, I may do another video up on that one. And then we have obviously the Casey Anthony's parents here coming up tomorrow night. And then there will be a special coming up on Gypsy Rose. So the beginning of January is a big month for kicking off true crime on primetime television.
The test is about to begin. Please remain still.
Oh, man. This is really hard, especially when you know that I never got a chance to see my granddaughter again.
He knows how important it is.
If you have anything to do with Kaylee's disappearance, then the polygraph's going to show that.
Is there a kernel of truth to any of the allegations she's leveling against you?
Did you ever have sexual contact with Casey?
Is your marriage going to survive this?
Did you knowingly conceal Kaylee's whereabouts?
Did I conceal her whereabouts?
Did you conceal her whereabouts?
Casey Anthony's Parents, The Lie Detector Test, premieres Thursday, January 4th at 9. Part of The Pursuit, a crime and investigation event. Only on A&E.
So there it is. That is the trailer for the special coming up tomorrow night on A&E. I know A&E, ID channel, all those channels are a regularly viewed in my house. I don't know about you guys. But again, I will be watching because I'm definitely curious. This is, as I've said before, this is a case that is local to me. I live in Orlando and I was present in the area and I watched the trial. And it's still, to this day, I would love to know the truth. But unfortunately, I don't think we're ever going to know the truth. I think it makes me think of another case that I really would love to know the truth to is what really happened to John Bonet. So this may be another one of those mysteries that we just never get to know the answer to, at least until maybe we get to the pearly gates in heaven, if we get blessed enough to get to that place. But let me know what you guys think of the whole thing in the comments. And that's all I've got for this one. I hope you have a great rest of the day. And most of all, stay safe.